Chosen one. Pause. Yes, right here. Right now. Heaven has interrupted your scrolling because this is not coincidence. This is divine orchestration. Everything around you has paused because God is speaking directly to your spirit. You have felt the pull before. The strange tug inside that says, "Stop. Listen." That tug is not random. It is heaven's signal flare calling you home to purpose. You have been running, searching, trying to fill the ache with noise, but today, heaven declares, enough running. It's time to awaken. Oh, you are not like the rest. You never were. The evidence has always been written in your story, how you sense things others overlook, how your heart breaks deeper, how your spirit refuses to settle for shallow living. That sensitivity is not weakness, it is proof of divine selection. You are chosen, and when the chosen ones drift, heaven intervenes. This moment is proof that God still pursues those he marks. Every time you almost gave up, you didn't. Every time you fell, you rose again. That was not luck, it was mercy. That was grace pulling you from the wreckage, because there's a crown waiting that fits only your head. Others may mock, doubt, or forget you, but the King of Heaven has whispered your name in eternity. There is something sacred about your survival. Every scar you carry is a testimony written in the ink of endurance. Listen carefully. The enemy tried to convince you you're ordinary so that you'd never discover how dangerous you are to darkness. You have walked through valleys others could not survive. Yet here you stand. There is divine power buried in your pain. It is time to uncover it. As the prophet wrote in the scroll of Habakkuk, chapter 3, verse 19, "The sovereign Lord is my strength. He makes my feet like the feet of a deer. He enable me to tread on heights." These are not poetic words alone. They are prophecy over your life. You have been walking through uneven ground, but God is giving you new balance. He is preparing your feet to climb. The places that once made you stumble will soon become the very platforms from which you rise. Chosen one. You are not reading this by accident. Heaven has an agenda, and you are the subject of divine strategy. Every delay you've faced has not been denial, it has been design. Every rejection was redirection. You were hidden so that you could be refined, and now, refinement is over. The command is simple. Step into the call. You may think, "But I'm not ready." Yet destiny rarely waits for readiness. It demands obedience. There is something waiting to be unlocked in your yes. The moment you surrender, the heavens align. Every angel assigned to your name moves into formation when you decide to obey. Delay is dangerous because it leaves openings for doubt, but obedience immediate. Fearless obedience summons favor faster than prayer alone. The Spirit of God is stirring around you right now. You might feel it as warmth in your chest, a shiver down your spine, or a sudden peace. You can't explain. That is confirmation. Heaven is saying, "You've waited long enough. Now move." The time of hesitation is over. The time of manifestation has come. You have been chosen not to impress the world, but to impact it. You are called to carry light into dark places, to be the voice of mercy in a world of noise. That's why you've been through so much opposition. The greater the assignment, the greater the attack. The enemy knows what you could become if you ever believed who you already are. But today, scales fall from your eyes. You are remembering the truth. Hear this with spiritual ears, the same God who parted seas, who shut lions' mouths, who raised the dead. He is breathing in your direction. You have access to the same power that resurrected Christ, and that power does not visit, it dwells. It lives within you. So, speak as one who carries authority, pray as one who commands angels, walk as one who knows the King personally. Now, beloved chosen one, before you scroll away, take a prophetic action. Type 999 inches. The comments right now, 9 represents finality and divine completion. It is a sign that what was delaying you ends today. Then, like and share this message so that other chosen ones can awaken too. And if you haven't already, subscribe, because this is not just another message, it is your spiritual lifeline. Stay connected to the voice that calls you higher. You are not forgotten. You are not finished. You are being reintroduced to yourself, the self God designed before the world ever formed. Stand tall. Breathe deep. And remember, this interruption was heaven's way of reminding you who you are. You have always felt different, even in your earliest memories. There was something in you that did not blend with the crowd. While others seemed content to follow patterns, your soul longed for something more. You questioned deeper, sensed more sharply, loved more fiercely. And though that difference sometimes made you lonely, it was never a flaw. It was the fingerprint of heaven upon you. From birth, you were marked, not with ink or symbol, but with divine assignment. The unseen seal of the Almighty has rested on your life since the day you took your first breath. That is why darkness has pursued you with such intensity. It recognized the mark before you did. The enemy saw your potential long before you understood your purpose. Every strange battle, every inexplicable sorrow, every season of wilderness was not proof that God abandoned you, but proof that you were never ordinary. You were set apart for something sacred. Before you even had a name, your spirit had a purpose. Heaven chose you for impact. And though the world tried to reshape you, the original design of your soul could not be erased. Even when you conformed for a time, your heart ached with the knowledge that you were created for more. There is a destiny woven into your DNA, an invisible thread that pulls you toward divine fulfillment. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 139, verse 16. Your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days ordained for me were written in your book before one came to be. There were times you felt unseen, but heaven was watching. There were moments you wondered if anyone would ever understand you. But God whispered, I do. He has always known you fully, loved you completely, and protected you fiercely, even when you could not feel it. The mark on your life is not a label, it is a covering. It keeps you alive when everything around you tries to bury you. The reason you don't fit in is because you weren't meant to. Ordinary paths would suffocate the extraordinary call inside you. The discomfort you feel among the crowd is divine tension. It pushes you to walk the narrow road, the one only a few dare to travel. That loneliness you carry is holy. It keeps you close to the voice of your Maker. The world offers noise, but the chosen crave clarity. You are not called to imitate. You are called to initiate. What God births in you will not look like anyone else's story. That is why comparison steals your peace. It distracts you from your own divine rhythm. You were designed to move differently, speak differently, and see differently. Every divine assignment requires distinction. And your uniqueness is the key that unlocks it. The hand of God has been shaping you quietly. Even in moments you thought you were being crushed, you were actually being carved. Every wound refined you. Every delay disciplined you. You have been under divine construction. And now the scaffolding begins to fall away. The real you, the chosen, anointed, unstoppable, you is being revealed. And though you have questioned, why me? Lord, why so much struggle? The answer comes softly, because I trust you with weight. God does not place crowns on unstable heads. You were built to endure what others could not. Because your shoulders were fashioned to carry destiny. The mark is not a decoration, it is a mantle. Listen closely. Chosen one. Your difference is your weapon. What others mock, heaven magnifies. The very thing that made you stand out will be the reason you rise up. You are the answer to a cry someone else has been praying. There are people waiting on the other side of your obedience. And they will only find their breakthrough when you step fully into your calling. That is why the mark has followed you. It is heaven's reminder that you are not optional in God's plan. Even now, the Spirit whispers, stop apologizing for being different. Your light irritates those comfortable with darkness. But do not dim it. You were marked to shine in spaces others fear to enter. Every word you speak with love. Every act of kindness you release. Every truth you stand for, it all carries the fragrance of the divine. You were not born to chase validation. You were born to reveal revelation. The world needs what you carry. And that is why the fight against you has been relentless. But hear this truth. If you were not dangerous to the kingdom of darkness, you would not be under attack. Your battles are evidence of your anointing. So, lift your head. Chosen one. You are not a mistake wandering through time. You are a message wrapped in flesh. Heaven wrote you into history for a purpose that cannot be erased. Let the storms come. Let the doubters speak. None can remove the mark God placed upon you. You are heaven's proof that divine purpose still walks among men. Chosen one. Every silent battle you fought was heard in heaven. The nights you cried into your pillow. The mornings you smiled, though your heart was breaking. The days you carried pain and called it strength. All of it was seen. Nothing escaped the eyes of the one who marked you. Your private wars were not wasted. They were sacred training grounds. While the world saw struggle, heaven saw shaping. You have endured what should have destroyed you. There were moments you thought you wouldn't survive. Yet somehow, you did. Every scar on your soul has a voice that whispers, still standing. Every tear that fell became a seed of strength. You have walked through fire, but you did not burn. You walked through waters, but they did not drown you, because grace unseen, unstoppable grace carried you. The truth is, you were never alone in the battle. When you thought no one cared, heaven was fighting on your behalf. Angels stood where you could not. When your prayers felt like they hit the ceiling, they were actually building a foundation beneath your feet. Every no from man was making room for a greater yes from God. The word of God declares in the book of Isaiah, chapter 43, verse 2, when you pass through the waters, I will be with you. And when you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep over you. When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned. The flames will not set you ablaze. You have lived these words without even realizing it. That's why you're still breathing, still fighting, still believing. You were never abandoned. You were being preserved. Every time you thought it was over, God whispered, "Not yet." He hid you in plain sight, so your enemies couldn't finish what they started. The fire they sent to consume you only refined you. You became stronger, wiser, quieter but more dangerous to darkness. Your stillness was not surrender, it was strategy. But hear this, your silent seasons are ending. The time for quiet endurance is transforming into a season of bold declaration. What once broke, you will now become your weapon. The very pain that tried to silence you will become your testimony. You will speak, and others who are drowning will find breath again because of your words. You will carry the authority of survival. Every hidden battle has built a hidden power within you. That's why some people no longer understand you. You've outgrown the language of victims. You've learned that peace is not weakness, it is proof of victory. You no longer fight for attention, you fight for alignment. You've learned that when God is for you, applause is optional. Chosen one. Your strength intimidates those who don't know the cost of your scars. Let them misunderstand. You are not called to explain your evolution to those who still live in old versions of you. What they call pride, heaven calls purpose. What they call strange, heaven calls set apart. You were never meant to fit their frame. You were meant to break it. There is a holy confidence rising in you now. The kind that comes not from arrogance, but from awareness. Awareness of who walks beside you. You are a survivor of spiritual wars few could endure. And because of that, you carry authority in realms unseen. The enemy recognizes your endurance. That is why he fears your awakening. Now, breathe deeply. Feel that. That's peace returning. Not the kind the world gives, but the kind that whispers, "It's already won." Because it is. You don't have to strive anymore. You only have to stand. The same power that sustained you in secret is now about to elevate you in sight. And as you read these words, there's a knowing in your spirit, a gentle voice saying, "This is for me." That's not emotion, that's recognition. Your soul remembers the sound of truth. So, right now, write this declaration in the comments. I hear you. Say it. Type it. Release it. Because when you do, you're not just commenting, you're coming into agreement. You're acknowledging that heaven's message has reached its mark. Those 3 words break spiritual silence. They echo upward, signaling to angels that you are still listening, still ready, still chosen. The hardest battles are behind you. Chosen one. The next season is not about survival, it's about revelation. You are stepping into a life where pain becomes prophecy, where tears become triumph, and where silence gives birth to songs of victory. The battles that once defined you will soon be the proof that God never left you. You have survived enough to know this. You are the proof that grace works. Chosen one. The ache of rejection has followed you like a shadow. You've carried it from childhood, the quiet moments where you wondered why you didn't fit. Why love seemed to leave just as you began to trust it. You've been the one left out of circles, overlooked in rooms where you carried more light than most could handle. The sting of rejection was sharp, but it was never a punishment. It was prophecy. God was protecting what He anointed. You were never meant to be accepted everywhere, because not every place could handle the purity of what you carry. Rejection was heaven's way of redirecting your steps away from counterfeit connections. Every closed door was an act of divine mercy disguised as disappointment. You thought they left you because you weren't enough. In truth, they left because they weren't equipped to stay. You outgrew their frequency. The anointing on your life demanded separation. The isolation you hated was actually consecration, God setting you apart for Himself. It is written in the book of Genesis, chapter 50, verse 20, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." This verse doesn't just tell Joseph's story, it tells yours. What others meant to break you became the birthplace of your destiny. Their betrayal built your backbone. Their rejection refined your discernment. What they did against you only revealed what God was doing within you. Rejection taught you to listen to heaven when the world went silent. It stripped away false affirmations until the only voice left was God's. That's when you discovered your true worth, when applause faded and divine approval remained. You began to see that the silence of people often makes room for the sound of purpose. Every goodbye was a graduation. Each person who walked away made space for what was coming next. You didn't lose anyone you were meant to keep. You are being positioned for divine partnership, people who will recognize your spirit, not just your surface. The next connections in your life will not drain you, they will strengthen you. So, stop mourning the loss of what couldn't stay. Stop replaying the moments of misunderstanding. What they failed to see in you does not define you. The anointing on your life is not dependent on who applauds it. You were approved long before you were acknowledged. The King of Kings placed His seal on your name before you were even born. There's something sacred in the way you've loved people who wounded you. You forgave when it wasn't deserved. You prayed for those who misused you. That mercy is not weakness, it's proof that the Spirit of Christ is alive within you. Every time you chose forgiveness, you aligned more deeply with heaven's heart. And because of that, your reward is near. Chosen one. Rejection has been your greatest teacher. It taught you who you are, not so you could discover who you are. It stripped away false identities and left behind authenticity. You learned that validation is fleeting, but calling is forever. You learned to stand alone without losing your balance because you were never truly alone. Think of how far you've come. The version of you that once begged to be accepted has been transformed into someone who carries peace in solitude. You no longer chase belonging, you create it wherever you go. You no longer seek to fit in, you carry an atmosphere that draws others to the light within you. The pain you endured was sacred. Every rejection redirected your roots deeper into God's soil. You are now unshakable because your foundation is no longer in people, it is in presence. What once hurt now heals others through your empathy, your wisdom, your strength. Do you see it now? The very wounds that once bled are now glowing. You have become a vessel of redemption. Proof that what was meant for evil can become the greatest instrument of divine glory. So, breathe. The storm of rejection is over. The peace you feel now is not absence of battle, it's victory after warfare. God has restored what rejection tried to take. And soon, those who dismissed you will witness what heaven built in secret. They will see that rejection was never your end. It was the door to revelation. You have been chosen not in spite of rejection, but through it, what they threw away. God crowned. Chosen one. There is a glow within you that the world cannot extinguish. Even when you tried to dim yourself to fit in, the light kept leaking through the cracks. You are a lantern in a dark valley. A spark, heaven hid inside human flesh. Every time you enter a room, The atmosphere shifts, not because of your words, but because of your presence. Darkness recognizes the authority you carry, even when you forget it. The light you carry was not earned, it was entrusted. Long before you knew how to pray, heaven whispered, "This one will shine." That whisper became a flame, a divine spark that now burns quietly behind your ribs. You may not always feel holy, but holiness moves through you every time you choose love over bitterness, peace over panic, faith over fear. You are not just holding light, you are light wrapped in skin, a walking sunrise in a midnight world. Every breath you take pushes back the shadows a little more. Heaven watches as your glow spreads, whispering, "Keep shining, the dawn depends on you." Lo, as Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 14, "You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden." Those words were not metaphor, they were a mission. Light does not compete with darkness, it simply exists, and in its existence, darkness disappears. Your very being is warfare against despair. Every act of kindness, every word of encouragement, every prayer you whisper for another, it all pushes back shadows. You've wondered why you attract broken people, why strangers confide in you without knowing why. It's because light draws the wounded. They see in you what they've lost in themselves. And though their pain sometimes drains you, it is also proof that your glow is working. You are a living lighthouse, guiding the lost towards safe shores. But chosen one, even lighthouses need care. You cannot keep shining if your own oil runs dry. There are moments heaven calls you to step back, to rest, to refill. Don't mistake rest for retreat. It is how your flame survives the night. Learn to pour into yourself the same compassion you pour into others. The world needs your light, but your soul needs the source. When you share that light, it multiplies, like a candle lighting another. Nothing is lost. The flame grows brighter, and the darkness shrinks smaller. This is why your story matters. Your words are not just words, they are sparks, waiting to ignite hope in someone else's cold heart. Every testimony you carry is a torch meant to be passed on. And so, I'll say this gently. If this message has stirred something in you, if it feels like warmth spreading across your chest, like a reminder you didn't know you needed, don't keep it hidden. Share it. Pass the flame, not out of obligation, but because light was never meant to stay locked in one lantern. When you share truth, you multiply its power. Hit that share as an act of light-bearing. Click like, not for numbers, but as your quiet amen, your way of saying, "I recognize this fire." And if you haven't already, subscribe, not as a ritual, but as an act of connection, because we are building something more than a channel. We are building a constellation. Each of us is a star. And when we shine together, we form a map for the lost. Your life has already touched more people than you know. Some are walking in peace today because of your gentle presence yesterday. Some are still alive because you said one kind word. That is how powerful light can be. It does not shout, it simply shines. Think of yourself as a mirror placed in the hands of God. When He tilts you toward others, they don't see you, they see Him reflected through you. And when you lift your face toward heaven, you catch His radiance again, that constant exchange light received. Light reflected is how you fulfill your calling. You are not meant to burn out, You are meant to burn on. The secret is simple. Stay close to the flame. Stay close to the voice that reminds you who you are. The more time you spend in His presence, the brighter you shine in the world's darkness. Chosen one. Never underestimate the quiet glow of your faith. One spark in the right place can set an entire forest of despair ablaze with hope. You are that spark. You always have been. Chosen one. Heaven is leaning close. The air around you feels heavier. Not in burden, but in holiness. You can sense that time itself is shifting. This is not a random season. It is a divine countdown. The heavens are whispering one urgent word to your spirit. Now, not tomorrow, not later. Now, you have delayed long enough. You've wrestled with doubt, wrestled with fear, wrestled with the haunting question, what if I'm not ready? But destiny rarely arrives when we feel ready. It arrives when we are willing. And right now, heaven waits for your yes. Delay has become dangerous. Every moment of hesitation risks missing what heaven has prepared. You stand at the edge of obedience, your toes pressing against the threshold of something miraculous. You know what God has been asking of you, that quiet instruction you've kept ignoring, that nudge in your heart you've tried to silence. It has not gone away because it is not optional. It is divine order. And this message is heaven's way of saying, do it before it's too late. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah. Chapter 7, verse 23. Obey my voice, and I will be your God, and you will be my people, and walk in all the way that I command you, that it may be well with you. This is not mere instruction, it's invitation. God isn't demanding obedience to control you. He's offering obedience as the doorway to blessing. When you obey, heaven opens. When you resist, heaven waits. You've prayed for breakthrough, but God has been waiting for movement. You've asked for signs, but He already sent His word. Sometimes the miracle is waiting on your motion. Heaven has set the stage, but you must step onto it. The longer you delay, the louder the silence becomes. It's not that God has gone quiet, it's that He has already spoken. Think of this moment like standing before a locked gate. You've cried for it to open, but the key has been in your pocket all along your obedience. Every time you say, yes, that gate creaks a little wider. Every act of surrender pushes back resistance. Every choice to trust over fear shifts the atmosphere in your favor. The truth is, procrastination is not harmless. It's spiritual warfare disguised as comfort. The enemy doesn't need to make you evil. He just needs to make you late. He whispers, there's still time, until there isn't. That's why heaven sent this interruption to break that spell of delay before it devours your destiny. Chosen one. This is your hour. You've been through too much to freeze now. Every hardship you endured has led to this crossroad. Every tear was training. Every heartbreak was holy preparation. You cannot stop here. The very thing you've been afraid to begin is the key to your next season. And so, heaven calls you to act, not in panic, but in power. Move, forgive, create, speak, obey. Do the thing your spirit has been trembling over. You don't need full clarity. You only need full trust. Faith does not always know the map, but it knows the voice of the guide. The moment you move, divine order will follow. The doors you've been knocking on will suddenly open because they were voice-activated, waiting for your obedience to echo through them. The favor you've prayed for will rush toward you like wind filling a sail. Everything changes when you say yes. You might feel fear, but courage isn't the absence of it. It's choosing obedience in spite of it. Heaven measures your faith not by what you understand, but by what you're willing to trust. The smallest step of faith is stronger than the loudest promise of fear. This is that step. Chosen one. This is that holy pause where you decide to become what you were always meant to be. The world will not wait. Destiny will not delay. Heaven has set its clock to this moment. The angels are already aligning. The wind is shifting in your favor. So, take this act of obedience right now. Write the number 111 inches, the comments. That number represents divine alignment and the beginning of new things. It is not superstition, it is symbol. When you type it, you're declaring, I align with heaven now. You're marking your obedience in faith, saying, no more delay, no more fear. My time is now. Let this be your covenant moment. The unseen realm is watching. The very atmosphere around you is waiting for your command. Heaven has given the word. Now you must give the response. Move. Chosen one. The time is now. You stand. Chosen one. At the trembling edge of destiny, a sacred crossroads where one decision can shift the course of your life. The path behind you is marked with scars and survival. Yet the path before you shimmers with mystery. Both roads call your name, but only one carries the weight of heaven's will. You can feel it in your spirit, a holy tension. The pull between comfort and calling. The crossroads of destiny is never silent. It hums with unseen voices, fear whispering from one side, faith calling from the other. One road promises safety but leads to stagnation. The other demands surrender but leads to glory. You know which path is divine because it's the one that frightens you most. Fear often stands guard at the entrance to your purpose. This moment is not punishment, it is privilege. God does not place everyone at such a crossroads. Only those marked with eternal assignment are entrusted with such holy decisions. You have arrived here not by accident, but by design. Every delay, every detour, every disappointment has been guiding your feet to this very intersection. Heaven has been waiting for you to choose. According to what is revealed in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30, verse 19, I have set before you life and death, blessings and curses. Now choose life, so that you and your descendants may live. This ancient command echoes through time and lands gently on your spirit today. Choose life, not the shallow kind, defined by routine, but the divine kind, sustained by obedience. You see, life is not measured in years, it's measured in surrender. Every yes to God expands your existence beyond what you can see. Each act of obedience births new beginnings, not just for you, but for those connected to your destiny. You are not choosing only for yourself, you are choosing for generations, yet unborn. The crossroads of destiny feels lonely because it requires silence. You cannot bring the noise of others into this sacred decision. There are choices that only heaven can help you make. The world may not understand why you walk away from what seems stable or why you reach for something unseen. But faith doesn't wait for approval. It moves when God whispers, even when logic protests. In this still moment, heaven watches. Angels lean close as if holding their breath. For your choice determines more than your next season. It sets the tone for everything that follows. And yet, this is not something to fear, it is something to revere. God trusts you enough to let you choose. The enemy, too, stands nearby. He cannot force your fall, but he can whisper distraction. He can lure you with comfort, with convenience, with counterfeit peace. He will tell you the cost is too high, that obedience will isolate you. But what he will not tell you is that disobedience costs more: your peace, your power, your purpose. Chosen one, pause. Feel the gravity of this sacred intersection. Your spirit already knows the right path. It's your mind that trembles. Faith is not the absence of uncertainty, it is movement despite it. You don't need all the answers, you only need the voice that says, "This is the way, walk in it." And when you take that first step, when you move toward what scares you most, you will feel the wind shift. Heaven responds to movement. The moment your foot touches the road of obedience, unseen doors swing open. Provision begins to chase purpose. Miracles attach themselves to momentum. You may lose people on this path, but you will never lose God. The road of destiny is narrow not because God is cruel, but because it cannot carry what was never meant to go with you. Let go of what weighs you down. Let go of who no longer walks in your rhythm. The lightness you feel afterward will be your confirmation. This is not just a decision, it's a declaration. I choose life. I choose faith. I choose calling over comfort. When you decide, heaven marks it. That moment becomes a divine timestamp, an eternal record that you stood at the crossroads and chose the narrow way. You were never designed for the easy road. You were built for the holy climb, the one that tests your strength but transforms your soul. At this crossroads, heaven is not asking you to prove yourself. It's inviting you to reveal yourself, to become who you were before fear taught you to shrink. Stand still, breathe, listen, then move. The crossroads will not last forever, but the choice you make here will echo in eternity. Chosen one, before every great awakening comes a whisper, the soft, deceitful murmur that tries to lure you off course. It does not always shout. Sometimes it sounds like logic, reason, or comfort. That is how the enemy works. He rarely confronts the chosen with open opposition. He seduces them with subtle suggestion. You know that voice, the one that tells you to wait a little longer, to soften what God told you to speak, to shrink so others feel safe around you. It is not the voice of humility, it is the echo of fear disguised as wisdom. The whisper of the enemy is ancient. It began in the garden, where truth was questioned, not denied. The serpent didn't attack Eve's belief in God, he attacked her confidence in what God said. That same whisper still moves through time, searching for the ears of those anointed. It cannot destroy the chosen, so it distracts them. It cannot remove your calling, so it tries to convince you to ignore it. But you, chosen one, were born with discernment, buried in your spirit. Deep down, you recognize when a voice doesn't match heaven's frequency. You've felt it before, the unease that settles in your chest, the restlessness that stirs when something sounds good but feels wrong. That is your spiritual alarm, heaven's safeguard within you. Listen to it. When peace departs, pay attention. The apostle reminds us in his letter to the Corinthians, chapter 11. Verse 14. And no wonder, for Satan himself masquerades as an angel of light. The enemy rarely shows up wearing horns. He comes dressed in opportunities, compliments, and convenient timing. He mimics light so that you'll trust him. Yet his promises always cost you peace. The whisper might tell you that compromise is harmless, that bending truth for comfort will make life easier. But what begins as a small compromise often ends as spiritual captivity. The enemy's goal isn't to make you evil, it's to make you ineffective. He doesn't need to silence you completely, only to lower your volume. He whispers, "You've already failed too many times. God's tired of you. And if you're weary, you'll believe it." But heaven never tires of its chosen. Grace is not a limited supply, it's an eternal river that never dries up. The enemy cannot remove God's love, so he tries to convince you to reject it yourself. Another whisper comes through distraction. Notice how every time you're close to breakthrough, something pulls your attention elsewhere. A sudden crisis, an unnecessary argument, a wave of exhaustion. Those aren't coincidences, they're strategies. The enemy knows he can't defeat your faith, but he can drain it through division. That's why guarding your focus is warfare. Your calling depends on what you feed your mind. The more you entertain counterfeit voices, the dimmer your discernment becomes. The more time you spend in the presence of truth, the sharper your spirit grows. You cannot fight spiritual whispers with worldly noise. Silence is your weapon. There will also be whispers that sound like your own thoughts. The enemy loves to disguise himself as you. He imitates your tone, your reasoning, your fears, until you start to believe those doubts are your identity. But here's the difference. Heaven convicts. Hell condemns. Conviction pulls you closer to God. Condemnation pushes you away. Learn to tell them apart. When you hear that whisper say, "You're not strong enough," remember, weakness in you is invitation for strength in Him. When it says, "You're alone," know that heaven never leaves the marked ones unattended. When it says, "You're wasting time," realize that waiting seasons are divine classrooms, not punishments. The enemy can twist truth, but he cannot rewrite destiny. And though the whisper feels persistent, it is powerless once you expose it. Light reveals deception's fragility. The moment you name the lie, it begins to crumble. Speak truth out loud. Declare what God said, not what fear suggests. The whisper loses authority the second you choose to respond with faith. Do not underestimate how much warfare hides in simplicity. Sometimes your peace is your loudest weapon. You don't always have to shout. Sometimes all of heaven needs from you is silence, the kind that refuses to argue with lies. Stillness terrifies darkness because it proves trust. Chosen one. The whisper will keep trying. It will shift its form, change its tone, sound compassionate when it's truly controlling. But the spirit within you is greater. When confusion comes, lean into prayer until peace returns. When temptation speaks, remember what was promised. When exhaustion presses, rest, but don't retreat. You are not the sum of your whispers. You are the echo of His word. The same breath that spoke galaxies into existence now speaks through you. No lie can drown that voice unless you agree with it. So stand firm. Tune your heart to heaven's sound again. Let every counterfeit fade into silence until all that remains is the truth that never wavers. You are chosen. guarded, and guided. The whisper fades when you remember who you are. Chosen one. There are moments when your spirit begins to tremble for reasons you cannot explain. The room feels the same. The day looks ordinary. Yet something deep within you stirs a flutter, a tightening, a sudden stillness. That is not anxiety. It is the inner alarm of heaven, the divine warning system placed within those who carry destiny. When something unseen begins to move, your spirit knows before your mind can interpret. That restlessness is not random, it is revelation. Heaven built sensitivity into your soul so that danger would never catch you unaware. You've felt it before, that pause before making a choice. That whisper that says, "Don't go," or "Wait." Those moments were not coincidences. That was the Holy Spirit tugging on the strings of your awareness. You have been hearing God far more often than you realize. You just didn't know it was Him. We find in the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 6, "In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He shall direct your paths." That verse is the blueprint of discernment. When your steps begin to waver, when uncertainty clouds your decisions, acknowledging God reactivates the divine compass within you. He never designed you to walk blind. He designed you to walk guided. But here's what the enemy does. He tries to desensitize you. He fills your life with noise until you can no longer hear the soft voice of conviction. He distracts you with busyness so that your inner alarm sounds like background static. You start ignoring the warning signs, convincing yourself you're just overthinking. Yet, deep down, the Spirit keeps signaling, "Stop, look again, listen." And there were times you followed that warning, and afterward, you discovered what could have gone wrong. But there were also moments you ignored it, and the pain that followed taught you the cost of disobedience. Both experiences were part of your training. The more you respond to the Spirit's alarms, the sharper your discernment becomes. You begin to recognize patterns, atmospheres, even unseen intentions. Chosen one. Discernment is not paranoia. It is peace wrapped in awareness. It is the ability to sense the unseen without succumbing to fear. When your spirit alarms, you don't panic. You pray. You don't flee blindly. You focus spiritually. The Holy Spirit alerts not to terrify, but to prepare. You are being trained to walk as a spiritual watchman. God wakes you at odd hours, not because He wants to disrupt your sleep, but because He wants to download instructions. He stirs your heart suddenly because someone connected to your destiny might need prayer at that exact moment. Every alarm is an assignment. So the next time your heart feels heavy without reason, pause. Ask, "Lord, what are you showing me?" Sometimes the alarm means danger near you. Other times, it means He wants to use you as protection for someone else. Heaven rarely wastes awareness. It always has purpose. And do not forget, this inner alarm doesn't only sound for danger, it also rings for destiny. When you're near something that belongs to your future, your spirit will vibrate with holy recognition. It feels like déjà vu, like your soul saying, "I've been here before." That is heaven confirming alignment. What once felt like anxiety is now understood as activation. The more you trust that inner signal, the less you will need external confirmation. You won't have to beg for signs because you'll recognize the voice behind the whisper. The Spirit's guidance will become as familiar as your own heartbeat. And when that happens, Peace will follow your every step like a shadow that never leaves. The world may call it intuition, but you know the truth. It is divine communication. It is the voice of your Father reminding you that you are never walking alone. Every moment, every movement, every decision is being guided by a hand unseen, yet unmistakable. Chosen one, you are not losing your mind. You are gaining your sensitivity. You are not becoming too emotional. You are becoming spiritually alert. Let the alarm sound. Don't silence it. Honor it. Because the same voice that warns you is the one that will lead you safely home. And if right now, as you read these words, something inside you feels that stirring again, that gentle nudge, that warmth, that conviction, acknowledge it. Don't brush it off. Type these 3 words in the comments. I am listening. N. Those words are not just agreement, they are surrender. They tell heaven that your frequency is tuned. Your ears are open. Your heart is aligned. They declare that you are not led by fear or impulse, but by divine awareness. And when you say it, angels move, because obedience always releases assistance. Chosen one, when you walk in obedience, the entire fabric of creation responds. The unseen realm bends toward those who move in alignment with heaven. The winds seem to shift. Time rearranges itself, and what once resisted you begins to yield. This is the power of divine alignment, the mysterious synchronization between your yes and God's eternal plan. For years, you may have felt like you were pushing against invisible walls. Every effort felt heavy. Every prayer seemed delayed. But the moment you obeyed, doors opened that no human could force. That's not coincidence. That's divine coordination. Heaven never rushes, but it never arrives late either. Its timing is perfect, but its movement often depends on yours. Think of it like a great orchestra. God is the conductor. Every instrument, a piece of creation, circumstances, people, opportunities, all waiting for your note. When you finally play your part, the entire symphony begins to swell in harmony. What once sounded chaotic becomes melody. That is divine alignment. Heaven's music finally matching your movement. It was proclaimed in the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 28. And we know that, in all things, God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. Notice, He doesn't say all good things, but all things, even the pain, even the delays, even the mistakes. Everything becomes raw material in heaven's workshop. You are not walking through random events. You are walking through rehearsed providence. Every twist in your story was a note written in the score of eternity. The moments that confused you are now becoming clear. What was once bitter is turning sweet because you have stepped into alignment. Alignment feels like peace, returning to your chest after years of unrest. It's when prayers no longer sound like begging, but like conversation. It's when you realize you no longer chase blessings, they begin to chase you. The weight you once carried begins to lift because the wind of heaven is finally behind your back, not against your face. And yet, alignment is not perfection, it is position. Even the smallest shift in obedience can reset an entire atmosphere. Imagine a sailboat on the open sea. The wind of God has always been blowing, but if your sail is turned the wrong way, you'll drift aimlessly. The moment you adjust just slightly, the same wind that once resisted now propels you forward. That is what this season is about. Adjustment. You've been learning how to tilt your sail, how to respond faster when heaven shifts the wind. Every change, every prompting, every new direction, it's not chaos, it's choreography. You are learning to dance to the rhythm of grace. And when you begin to move with that rhythm, others will notice. They'll see peace resting on you like sunlight. They'll sense something different about your walk. They won't be able to explain it, but they'll feel it, the quiet authority of someone who knows who's leading them. So, if these words find resonance within you, if you feel that familiar warmth stirring in your spirit, I'll ask this not as a demand, but as a gesture of connection. Share this light. Click like if something in you whispered, "This is me," not for numbers, not for validation, but as a silent offering of gratitude to heaven for realigning your path. And share this message with those who may still be drifting. You never know whose storm might calm because of your obedience. Someone out there needs your courage to reach them in time. When you pass the flame, the darkness loses territory. If you haven't yet, subscribe, not as a ritual, but as a way to stay tethered to reminders of who you truly are. Think of it like keeping your lantern trimmed and your oil full. When you stay near the sound of truth, your light never dims. Chosen one, you are not just walking, you are aligning the earth beneath your feet. The way you love, forgive, speak, and act, son, ripples across eternity. Every choice echoes through generations. Heaven's harmony expands every time you take a step in sync with divine rhythm. So lift your head, feel the wind shifting. The same path that once resisted you is now guiding you. You are no longer walking against time, you are walking with it. The conductor smiles. The orchestra swells, and creation itself begins to sing your redemption song. Everything is falling into place because you finally are. Chosen one. Hidden inside you is a sacred mission that even you have only glimpsed in fragments. It is not a career, nor a hobby, nor an ambition. It is an assignment, a divine purpose woven into the threads of your being before your first heartbeat. You may have tried to outrun it, to silence it beneath logic or distraction, yet it never leaves. It waits, patient as eternity, until you are ready to carry it fully. The hidden assignment rarely reveals itself all at once. God hides the magnitude of your calling so it will not crush you before you are strong enough to hold it. Like a seed buried in soil, your mission grows unseen until the time is right for it to break through. The years of obscurity were not punishment, they were gestation. Every delay has been pregnancy in disguise, as was spoken in the sacred texts of old. In the book of Esther, chapter 4, verse 14, "And who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this?" This scripture is not just about a queen in a palace, it is about you, standing in the kingdom God placed around your life. Your royal position may not look like a throne, it may look like a home, a classroom, a business, a song, or a conversation that changes someone forever. Yet it is royal, because heaven placed it there. You are not ordinary. You are a vessel carrying divine blueprints. Every idea, every dream that refuses to die, every burden you can't ignore, it's all part of that hidden assignment. It calls to you in quiet moments, whispering reminders that you were made to build something that outlives you. Sometimes the mission feels heavy, but that weight is proof of its worth. God never entrusts light callings to strong shoulders. He strengthens shoulders for great callings. You've wondered why others seem carefree while you carry an invisible load. It's because you are carrying destiny. The deeper the purpose, the heavier the responsibility. Yet the weight you bear will one day become the wings you fly on. Do not despise the hidden years. They are heaven's workshop. While you thought nothing was happening, heaven was forging your character in silence. Hidden assignments require hidden seasons. Because exposure too early can destroy what is still maturing, the quiet years have been your schooling in obedience. When the door opens, you will not stumble, you will soar. Chosen one. Your mission may not look spiritual in the way the world defines it. Some are called to pulpits, but others are called to boardrooms, to hospitals, to art, to classrooms, to quiet corners of compassion where few ever look. Ministry is not a place, it's a posture. Every act done with love. Every word spoken in truth. Every small light kindled in darkness that is ministry. Your purpose may wear the disguise of ordinary work, but heaven sees it as sacred duty. And though your assignment is divine, it will not be effortless. The opposition you face is proportionate to the impact you're destined to make. The enemy doesn't waste his energy on the insignificant. The pressure you feel is confirmation of your potential. The storms that rise against you are proof of the cargo you carry. You've been trained to trust, even when blindfolded. That's what the last season was about, learning to follow directions without demanding explanations. God was teaching you to move by faith, not by sight. Because the mission ahead requires that kind of obedience. There will be moments when instructions seem impossible, but miracles always begin with obedience. That doesn't make sense. When you step into your hidden assignment fully, life will not suddenly become easy, but it will become meaningful. Every battle will make sense in hindsight. You'll realize that nothing was wasted. Every rejection, every wilderness, every unanswered prayer was preparing you to steward this mission with humility and power. And here is the mystery. Your hidden assignment isn't only about you. It's about everyone connected to your obedience. When you say yes, destinies around you begin to awaken. People who are spiritually asleep will rise because your courage gives them permission to believe again. You are not waiting for the right time. The right time is waiting for you. Heaven's spotlight doesn't shine on perfection, it shines on readiness. And readiness begins with surrender. So, breathe deeply. Feel that stirring in your chest. That's the mission knocking again. Whispering, "It's time." The silence was never abandonment, it was strategy. Heaven was waiting until the world grew quiet enough for you to hear your own calling echo back from eternity. Now you know. The hidden assignment was never hiding from you, it was hiding for you. Chosen one. You are closer than you think. You may not feel it, you may still see the dust of battle around your feet, but heaven whispers that the threshold of breakthrough is only a breath away. The air around you is charged, the atmosphere is stretching. It feels like tension, but it's transition. You are one step away from the unveiling of everything you've prayed for in silence. Sometimes, before destiny bursts forth, life grows strangely still. The silence that surrounds you right now is not emptiness, it's the hush before heaven speaks. Even creation holds its breath when a chosen one nears fulfillment. The pressure that feels unbearable is the final push of birthing something divine. The ancient words recorded in the book of Galatians, chapter 6, verse 9 declare, Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. These are not just comforting words, they are divine coordinates. The proper time is not far, it is near. The harvest is already ripening. What looks dormant above ground is alive beneath it. You have been sowing in faith, tears, prayers, obedience, forgiveness, and though you haven't seen the full result yet, heaven has not forgotten a single seed. Every sacrifice has been stored in divine soil. Every yes has been recorded in heaven's book of remembrance. You are about to step into the season where what was hidden will begin to bloom in plain sight. But here's the challenge. The final step always feels the hardest. Just before doors open, resistance intensifies. The enemy cannot stop your destiny, but he will try to drain your strength so that you forfeit it. Fatigue is often the final tactic before breakthrough. You must recognize it for what it is, a decoy meant to distract you from the finish line that's already in sight. Think of an archer pulling back a bow. The tighter the string, the greater the distance the arrow will fly. That's what the tension in your life means. It's not pulling you backward to punish you. It's pulling you back to launch you. The resistance you feel right now is the evidence that heaven is preparing to release you into greater purpose. Do not misinterpret this moment. What feels like delay is actually acceleration in disguise. You are being propelled forward. Even when it feels like you're standing still, God is working in dimensions you cannot see, aligning timing, people, and provision for what's next. The unseen realm is already in motion. Angels are already assigned to what you're about to walk into. There will be a moment, soon, when everything begins to connect. The fragments will fuse into clarity. The wounds will reveal their wisdom. You will look back and see that nothing was random. The confusion, the waiting, the heartbreak, it was all choreography. Every step orchestrated for your transformation. And when it happens, when heaven opens what hell tried to close, you will understand why the waiting took so long. You will see that God wasn't just preparing the blessing, He was preparing you to hold it without losing your soul. But right now, the Spirit whispers, don't stop. Don't grow weary. Don't quit at the edge. The enemy wants you exhausted, so you'll surrender the miracle seconds before it arrives. But if you can hold on just a little longer, if you can trust beyond what you see, heaven will move. You are standing in the hallway between promise and fulfillment. The door is already unlocked. All that remains is for you to step forward. Faith is not pretending it's easy. It's moving even when it's hard. And you, chosen one, have come too far to turn back now. So right now, as an act of faith, as a prophetic declaration that you will not give up, write the number 444 inches, the comments. That number represents divine stability and the establishment of promise. It is heaven's code for foundations being secured, for the solid ground beneath your feet finally appearing after years of uncertainty. When you type 444, you're not entering a ritual. You're building an altar of remembrance. You're saying, Lord, I'm still standing. I'm still believing. I'm still ready. You are sealing your perseverance with faith. Chosen one. The night has been long, but dawn is closer than ever. You are one step, one breath away from the moment that changes everything. Keep walking. Keep trusting. Keep breathing. Heaven is already on the move. Chosen one. While your feet move in the physical world, your name echoes in realms unseen. Even now, there is movement in the spirit that your eyes cannot detect, but your heart can feel. Every prayer you've whispered, every tear you've shed, every act of obedience has stirred heavenly forces into motion. You are not walking alone. You are walking through a battlefield where angels and shadows contend for your destiny. You have felt it, haven't you? The strange heaviness that descends when you're on the verge of a breakthrough. The moments when confusion seems to cloud your thoughts. When weariness appears from nowhere. That is not coincidence, it is conflict. Heaven and hell both know your potential, and their clash intensifies when a chosen one nears a turning point. The voice of God thundered in the book of Daniel, chapter 10, verse 12. From the first day that you set your heart to understand and to humble yourself before your God, your words were heard, and I have come because of your words. This verse reveals the unseen truth. Your prayers are never ignored, they are engaged. When you speak with faith, heaven dispatches reinforcements. Angels move not at noise, but at obedience, at humility, at faith-filled persistence. You are a participant in an invisible war. The enemy cannot destroy your destiny, so he aims to exhaust your faith. He will attack your emotions, your focus, your peace, hoping you'll mistake warfare for failure. But the conflict surrounding you is not proof that you're losing, it's proof that something powerful is being born. The enemy only wars where value resides. You must learn to see spiritual warfare for what it truly is, a sign of progress. The more resistance you face, the closer you are to breakthrough. The enemy doesn't waste ammunition on empty vessels. He attacks those carrying fire, those who can shift atmospheres simply by speaking truth. That's you, chosen one. That's why your nights have been so long, why your spirit sometimes feels tired beyond reason. You are targeted because you are effective. Do not be afraid of the battle. You were created for it. There is warrior blood in your spirit, royal strength in your bones. Heaven did not mark you for fragility, it marked you for victory. Every trial has trained your hands for war, your heart for endurance, and your voice for authority. When you pray, darkness trembles. When you worship, chains weaken. When you declare truth, demons retreat. And remember, spiritual warfare is not fought only with noise. Sometimes it is won with stillness. Silence in surrender is louder than screaming in panic. There are battles you win not by fighting harder, but by standing taller, anchored in peace that surpasses understanding. The enemy's chaos cannot coexist with heaven's calm. When you choose peace, you disarm him. Chosen one, understand that angels have been assigned to your path. There are messengers walking beside you, carrying answers that were delayed but never denied. There are battles being fought on your behalf in realms beyond sight. You may feel isolated, but you are surrounded by an army. Every time you choose faith over fear, you strengthen their ranks. Spiritual warfare is not always dramatic. Sometimes it looks like choosing prayer instead of gossip, silence instead of revenge, forgiveness instead of resentment. Each decision in favor of love is a sword swung in the unseen. You are more powerful than you realize. The war you fight daily in small choices is just as significant as the great confrontations. Do not fear when you feel the pressure intensify. Pressure is the mark of purpose. Heaven trusts you with it because your endurance terrifies darkness. You've already survived what others didn't. That is not luck, that's divine evidence of your calling. You will begin to notice subtle shifts, the heaviness lifting, the atmosphere changing, peace returning like morning light through the clouds. That's not imagination, it's victory manifesting. You are walking into the season where warfare turns to worship, where battles end not with bruises but with crowns. So walk boldly, even if the ground still trembles. Every step you take sends ripples through eternity. The enemy knows he cannot win. He only hopes you'll forget who you are. But you won't. You have seen too much grace to doubt now. Chosen one. Lift your gaze. The war is not to destroy you, it's to reveal you. You are being revealed. As the warrior heaven always knew, you were chosen one. Every crown heaven prepares comes with the shadow of a cross. It is a law written in eternity. Before glory, there is surrender. Before the rising, there must be the breaking. You cannot carry divine authority without first learning divine humility. The greater the crown, the deeper the cross that shapes it. There were seasons when you thought you were being crushed, but heaven was carving the space where the crown would rest. The pain was precise. The tears were not random. They were washing the soil of your soul so that pride could not take root. The breaking was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to hollow you, to make room for glory. According to what is revealed in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 9, verse 23, whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross daily and follow me. Those words are not a call to misery, they are an invitation to mastery. To carry your cross is to carry the proof of obedience. It is not punishment, it is partnership. The cross is the weight of purpose pressing against your will until surrender becomes second nature. The crown and the cross are inseparable. You cannot demand resurrection without embracing crucifixion. Many want the anointing, but few accept the altar. But you, chosen one, you were never meant to live a shallow life of comfort. You were designed to endure refinement until your reflection mirrors the King you follow. Every sacrifice you've made, every moment you've chosen obedience over indulgence, has been forging your crown. There is beauty in the weight of surrender. Each no to the world has been a yes to heaven. Each time you let go of something you thought you couldn't live without, you made room for something eternal. Your sacrifices have not gone unnoticed. Heaven records obedience the way earth records victories. The crown is not ornamental, it is evidence. It glows with the light of every battle you've endured and every temptation you've overcome. It carries the fragrance of the prayers you prayed when no one was watching. It is shaped by the same hands that wiped your tears. The gold of it is refined by your perseverance. The jewels are the lessons you learned in valleys. Sometimes, the cross you carry is not visible. It may be the burden of forgiveness, when bitterness would be easier. It may be choosing to bless those who wounded you. It may be waking up each day and trying again, when everything inside you wants to stop. Those unseen choices are the nails and beams of your own cross, daily proof that love still reigns within you. And though the cross feels lonely, you are never alone in its shadow. The one who carried his own cross walks beside you in yours. He knows the splinters that pierce your hands, the weight that bends your shoulders. He whispers strength into your weariness, reminding you that every step with the cross brings you closer to the crown. The world celebrates comfort. Boot, heaven crowns endurance. Every time you persevere without applause, you store up glory. The reward is not always seen immediately. Sometimes it is felt in peace that makes no sense, or in the quiet satisfaction of obedience. But eventually, the unseen becomes visible. There will come a moment when the cross you carried turns into the crown you wear. Chosen one. Understand this: the crown is not given to the strongest, but to the faithful. You do not earn it through perfection, but through perseverance. Heaven honors those who stay when it would have been easier to run, who trust when they cannot trace. The cross separates pretenders from carriers, and carriers from conquerors. So do not despise your weight. The cross you carry now is shaping your authority later. Each step with it adds glory to your future. There will come a day when you'll look back and realize that the very thing that seemed to crush you was the thing that crowned you. The King you serve still bears his own scars, not as reminders of suffering, but as symbols of victory. Your scars, too, will shine. They will tell the story of a chosen one who carried their cross and became a vessel of light. The cross and the crown are two sides of the same destiny. The first bends you, the second raises you. Together, they form the image of the chosen one. There are moments when heaven confirms what your heart already knew but doubted to believe. The signs arrive quietly, numbers that repeat, dreams that return, words that echo from unexpected lips. It is not coincidence, it is confirmation. Heaven knows you've questioned if you're still on the right path. And so, it sends reminders that say, yes, keep going. The prophetic confirmation rarely shouts, it whispers. It moves through patterns in your day, the stranger's kindness, the verse that appears twice, the sudden peace after prayer. Each sign is a divine breadcrumb leading you through the wilderness of uncertainty. The God who called you has not gone silent. He's simply speaking in symbols now, to strengthen your faith through recognition rather than explanation. The prophet Elijah spoke, as recorded in the first book of Kings, chapter 19, verse 12. And after the earthquake came a fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire came a gentle whisper. That is how heaven speaks to its chosen, through whispers, through subtleties, through signs, soft enough that only the listening heart will catch them. You have been listening, haven't you? That moment you felt warmth spread through your chest while reading a message, that unexpected peace after months of heaviness that was not emotion, that was divine confirmation. Heaven was saying, I'm still here, you're still mine. The promise still stands. But sometimes you overlook the confirmation because you expect fireworks. You want the burning bush. Yet God sends a flickering candle instead. You expect thunder. Yet He sends the quiet breeze. Confirmation is not always loud. It is consistent. It follows you until belief settles back into your bones. Think of the ocean's tide. It doesn't need to shout to prove its power. It comes and goes, always faithful, always returning. So does the voice of God. You may drift, but His tide keeps reaching the shore of your spirit, again and again, until you realize you were never lost, just being guided by rhythm. And if this message feels like one of those confirmations, it's because it is. Heaven has placed you here in this exact moment to remind you that your obedience has not gone unseen. Every prayer whispered in the dark, every moment of silence when you wanted to speak, every act of kindness you thought no one noticed, heaven noticed. When confirmation comes, don't rush past it. Pause it. Absorb it. Let it strengthen you for the journey ahead. Signs are not meant to replace faith. They are meant to refresh it. You are walking a road designed by the divine, and sometimes the only map you'll receive is one step at a time. Think of this message as a gentle candle passed from one torchbearer to another. If the light has touched something in you, if it's brought warmth where there was cold, peace where there was doubt, then share that flame. Hit like not as a routine, but as a small act of agreement, a signal to heaven that you recognize this divine nudge. When you share this message, imagine it as tossing a bottle into the ocean somewhere. Someone drowning in uncertainty will find it and breathe again. You never know how far light can travel once released. And if you subscribe, don't do it for habit's sake. Do it as an act of staying close to the frequency of faith, to reminders that anchor your soul when the storm returns. And before you leave, take a moment to comment, perhaps just a few words of gratitude, or a line that says, "I receive this," or whatever your spirit feels led to write. Comments are not numbers, they are testimonies. They become written echoes that heaven reads too. Every time you interact with truth, you magnify it. It's like striking a tuning fork. The more vibrations it sends, the more souls awaken to the same sound. You never know how one quiet amen might ripple through eternity. Chosen one. Prophetic confirmations are heaven's love letters disguised as daily details. They don't arrive to impress you, they arrive to remind you that faith still works, that God still speaks, that destiny is still unfolding exactly as it should. So, stay attentive. The signs will keep coming through words, through timing, through peace that doesn't make sense. Let each one be a heartbeat from heaven whispering, "You are seen. You are on time. You are still chosen." Chosen one. Courage has never been the absence of fear. It has always been the decision to move despite it. You have felt fear pressing on your chest like a weight, whispering reasons to stop, to hide, to retreat into safety. Yet here you are, still standing, still breathing, still daring to believe. That is courage in its purest form. Quiet persistence wrapped in divine faith. Fear has followed you through every season, sometimes in shadows, sometimes in words spoken by others who could not see what heaven sees in you. It told you that you were too small, too late, too flawed. But fear only attacks those who threaten its kingdom. The fact that fear pursues you is proof that you are dangerous to darkness. You were never meant to be comfortable. You were meant to be courageous. Heaven speaks clearly through the words in Deuteronomy, chapter 31, verse 6. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified because of them. For the Lord your God goes with you. He will never forsake you. That promise was not just for warriors with swords, it was for you. A warrior of light carrying truth in a trembling heart. Courage is not your natural strength, it is heaven's strength borrowed through trust. Every great move of God begins with trembling hands. Moses trembled before Pharaoh. Esther trembled before the king. Even Jesus trembled in Gethsemane. Yet each chose courage over comfort. Their fear did not disqualify them, it sanctified their dependence on God. You, too, are invited into that lineage of holy bravery. There will be moments when courage looks like stillness, when the bravest thing you can do is to wait without giving up, Other times, courage will look like confrontation, speaking truth in love, even when silence would be safer. And sometimes, it will mean walking alone, trusting that heaven walks beside you even when no human hand does. Courage is not built in comfort, it's forged in crisis. Every trial you've endured has trained you to stand taller. You've been through fires that should have left you ashes, yet you carry the scent of survival instead. That is divine proof of resilience. The courage within you is not loud or showy, it's steady, unyielding. The kind that prays while bleeding and still believes in resurrection. You've learned that courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers, "I'll try again tomorrow." Sometimes it looks like waking up after heartbreak and choosing faith one more time. Every small act of perseverance is a declaration to darkness, "I will not bow." Do not mistake sensitivity for weakness. The tender-hearted often make the fiercest warriors because they feel deeply and love fiercely. Your empathy is not a flaw, it is your armor. It allows you to carry compassion into battles where others would carry pride. The world needs warriors who can fight and still feel, who can stand firm without losing gentleness. That is who you are becoming. Fear will continue to test you, especially when new levels of purpose open before you. But courage will meet you there. You will find it in the moments you least expect, in the shaking of your hands as you take a step, in the tears you wipe as you press forward, in the silence you maintain instead of retaliation. Courage hides in obedience. And remember, you do not walk unarmed. Every promise God has spoken over your life is a shield. Every scripture you've declared in faith is a sword. Every time you've chosen hope, another piece of heaven's armor wrapped around you. The enemy's roar may sound loud, but it is hollow. The Lion of Judah roars louder within you. Chosen one. Courage is not something you must find, it's something already planted inside you. Fear may knock, but it cannot stay where faith resides. You were created in the image of the unshakable, and that means no storm, no threat, no voice of doubt can undo what heaven established in you. So lift your head, straighten your shoulders. You have survived enough to know that courage is not a feeling, it's a lifestyle. You've already proven you can walk through darkness and not lose your light. That same strength will carry you through the next chapter. When you rise with courage, others rise too. Your bravery becomes a beacon. The timid see your endurance and remember their own strength. The fearful find faith again. You are not just called to be courageous, you are called to awaken courage in others. Chosen one. Fear may whisper, but faith always answers louder. Keep walking forward. Heaven has already written victory beneath your feet. Chosen one. This is the moment of convergence, the place where warning meets promise, where every word that heaven has spoken over your life begins to unfold before your eyes. You have walked through wilderness, carried crosses, endured silence, and stood at countless crossroads. Yet here you are, still standing, still chosen, still breathing purpose into the air. This final stretch is not the end. It is the unveiling of everything you were born for. The final warning is not meant to frighten you, but to awaken you. Heaven issues warnings not to punish, but to protect. Every time the Spirit whispers, "Be careful," or "Return," it is not anger speaking, it is mercy, pulling you back before grace must step aside. You are living in a divine window of decision. a sacred moment where obedience determines destiny. This is not the time to drift or delay. It is the time to anchor yourself deeper than ever before. Mercy has carried you farther than you realize. Even when you strayed, heaven shielded you from consequences that could have destroyed you. That was not coincidence, it was divine restraint. But the season of wandering is closing. The Spirit is calling you to maturity, to commitment, to the fullness of your purpose. The days of casual faith are over. You are entering a time where only the rooted will remain. It is written in the book of Revelation, chapter 3, verse 11, "I am coming soon. Hold on to what you have, so that no one will take your crown." These words are both promise and warning. They remind you that the same God who began a good work in you intends to finish it, but only if you guard what He gave you. The crown you carry is not guaranteed by emotion, it is secured by endurance. You have seen what happens when others let go, how distraction, doubt, or pride slowly dulls what once burned bright. The world will try to pull you back into comfort, to make you trade calling for convenience. But comfort is costly when it steals conviction. You were not built for ordinary living, you were crafted for eternal impact. The warning is simple: do not grow weary in vigilance. The greatest danger for the chosen is not persecution, it is complacency. The enemy cannot steal your crown, but he can convince you to set it down. He will whisper, "Rest a little longer. You've done enough." But destiny doesn't pause when you do. Every moment of surrender to distraction delays divine progress. This is not a season to sleep, it is a season to sharpen. Keep your heart tender, but your spirit alert. Guard your time like treasure, your peace like a fortress, your anointing like sacred oil. The enemy cannot fight what he cannot find. So, stay hidden in obedience. Remain anchored in prayer, not as routine, but as relationship. The storms that once terrified you are no longer threats. They are reminders of how deeply you are rooted. And yet, amid the warning, there shines a promise. Heaven does not call you to fear, but to fulfillment. You will see what you've been waiting for. The doors that stayed closed are about to open, not because you forced them, but because you were faithful. The harvest you have sown in secret is ripening. The promises you carried like seeds are ready to bloom. The time of hidden preparation is giving way to visible purpose. When the promise manifests, remember the process. Remember who sustained you when everything else failed. Do not forget the wilderness that taught you how to worship. Gratitude is the anchor that keeps glory from becoming pride. Every blessing you receive will be an opportunity to honor the one who gave it. You are entering a new dimension of calling one, where peace is your protection and wisdom your weapon. You will no longer need to explain yourself. The fruit of your endurance will speak for you. Those who doubted you will witness what obedience can do. Those who hurt you will see how forgiveness multiplies favor. Those who abandoned you will hear the sound of your resurrection and know that grace was your defender all along. The final promise is simple but sacred. You will endure, and you will shine. Heaven did not choose you to begin well, but to finish strong. Every test, every tear, every act of trust has been preparing you for the unveiling of your purpose. The crown is not ahead, it's already forming on your head. Invisible but undeniable. Chosen one. Step into this next chapter with holy confidence. You are not who you were, you are who you were always meant to be. The storms behind you cannot return. and the light before you will not fade. The warning has been spoken, the promise declared. Heaven stands ready to move through you. You are unshakable. You are unstoppable. You are chosen for this exact moment in time. Chosen one. Take a deep breath. You've walked through every revelation, every whisper, every battle and blessing written for you in this divine message. If your heart feels lighter, if your eyes burn with new fire, that is heaven's signature upon you. You have just completed a spiritual realignment, a reminder of who you truly are and what you carry. You were never reading words on a screen. You were listening to the rhythm of eternity calling you home. This was never coincidence. It was appointment. Every line found you at the right time because heaven does not miss its mark. The proof is your heartbeat right now, steady and aware, saying, "Yes, I know this truth is mine." Now, let your response become your reflection. If this journey has stirred something deep within you, if it felt like God Himself brushed your soul, then let your light answer back. Click like as you're quiet. Amen. Your way of saying, "I received this." Share this with someone who might be walking through their own storm. You never know whose darkness your obedience will illuminate. And before you leave, subscribe so that every word sent from this well of truth can continue to strengthen you in the days ahead. Then, write your echo below. Leave a comment, not for recognition, but as testimony, even a few words. A single phrase of gratitude becomes a digital altar that heaven notices. Others will see your courage and realize they are not alone. Chosen one. This is not goodbye. It is a continuation. You are stepping out not as a reader, but as a carrier of light. Go now. Crowned, awakened, and unstoppable. The world needs the fire you've just reignited.